There. Hello. And so we're going to play Sudden Superhero. Theater of the Mind. We're going to make this stuff up as we go along. And we will be playing a quest today. And we are going to use superhero characters to resolve that quest. And to start it all off, for both of the players in the game, I got Tony and Conrad with me. For all they know, they are not alone as superheroes, but they have not really met anyone until today. This is the first meeting between the two of them. And your transformations, there are many reasons why you two have transformed into superheroes. Now, Conrad, what type of character are you playing today?
I'm playing the Mentalist.
A mentalist. And how did you get your mental powers, or what do you suspect was that origin story of yours?
Okay. Yeah. So I didn't write the 40-page backstory as requested.
I appreciate that. I appreciate your understanding sarcasm.
I perceived the character as a magician of sorts whose powers became real.
Perfect.
In an undetermined way.
And, of course, the less you have of a backstory, the more you can evolve through play, which is even better. And Tony, you're playing a blaster today, I see?
Indeed, I'm a blaster. I am in a government experiment.
A government experiment. Wow, that's frightening in many ways. I wouldn't think the government has that capability, nor that wherewithal, but you're probably an accident of some offshoot government experiment. But that's just me ad hocing here. Now that you've learned that there are more than one of you, you decide that you'll join forces for the moment because there is something that's happening in the city, strange lights. And strange lights are never a good thing in a horror game. And as I immediately click on my superhero folder here, I find that
Did you say horror or did you say a superhero game?
A superhero game.
It's horrific, by the way.
There is horrific, yes. There are strange lights that baffle the police. It's so easy to write horror games. There's so many different genres of it. The movies have capitalized on all of it. Strange lights baffle the police. So you guys are going to decide to investigate this strange light, the children so far are pretty much the only ones that have seen them, and there are more kids in the ghetto. So maybe you need to go to the ghetto to investigate this, or on the waterfront is where all the immigrants enter the city. So if something strange has come into the city, it probably was coming through Ellis Island. And at the same time, Wall Street has the highest concentration of inventors trying to sell newfangled gadgets. So I'm going to put this proposition to Tony. Tony, did you think we should go to Wall Street, down to the urban ghetto, or over to the docks?
Well, let's be true to America. The most important thing is money, so let's go to Wall Street.
We're going to go to Wall Street. And Conrad, do you disagree with that?
No, I don't disagree with that, other than the fact that we asked the dumb man to decide.
Well, the Crimson Fist is not as dumb as he looks. And so I need you guys to make a critical problem. Now, a critical problem is a combination of both a critical deed and a critical insight. So I'm going to pop over here to the character page. And somebody needs to make a critical insight, and somebody needs to make a critical deed. And I will start with Conrad. Which would you like to attempt? Critical deed.
So obviously, I want to attempt to have the critical insight on what is being caused, or I'm sorry, what's causing the lights, because that is to use scrutiny and assay, and of course that is the one I get 2 dice on. So I'll roll 2 dice and add 1 because I am in fact destined. And I rolled a total of a 2. I've got psionic pain.
Yes, you got psychic pain there. You're going to add 1 to the heinous plot. So immediately we have
it says or lose your destined status.
Sure. A heinous plot is something I think our raw fury guy is right up his alley to kill. It's up to you, though.
Yeah, I think so. I just mentioned it as a choice there. In this case, I think, like you said, it would probably be better just to add the heinous plot and be done with it. I think
so. So we have the fact that as he starts to use his mental powers, Blaster, our Crimson Fist, you realize that your top hat man is attracting other more powerful forces to the city that he shouldn't be. Why is he opening up into the spirit realm for his? So you might want to backhand slap him that. But we still need a critical insight, a critical deed, and we need to now circumvent a heinous plot. And we're over to you, Tony. What would you like to do as Crimson Fist?
Well, I think I'm best at circumventing the heinous plot. So when I see a villain, a new supervillain suddenly show up in the city, I will strike him down.
Go ahead and let's get that person put back in his box.
So let's call that a 5. So I eradicate, defeat henchman, or gain modifier to treat any rolls of 5 or 6, taking the modifier as a D6 henchman.
So you can, in this case, you defeat a henchman is not going to help you. So it's the equivalent of either pass on the roll or take the modifier. What is a D6 henchman to add to this? You might as well make a fight attack.
Why not? I take the treat 5s to 6s.
Okay, so we got 5s to 6s, and now go ahead and give me a D6 for the number of other minions that came into the city.
Just one.
No, it's just one. But what is it? Is it like a gargoyle type creature? Is it a monster of some sort? Is it just a henchman, a thug? Give me an idea of what you saw come into the city.
Oh, well, he opened up into the spirit realm, and that, of course, attracted cultists.
A cultist, okay.
It was just the one guy.
Sure. Yeah, just one cultist. In fact, the cultist, you probably realize, or at least for the paper article later, you'll blame the cultist of opening the portal, not our top hand band.
You're right. So, I wouldn't want my sidekick to take the blame on that.
Let's go back to Conrad. Conrad, we have a plot, we have a deed, we have an insight, and we have a cultist, and we're 5 of 6. We're rapidly going down into that spiral. Let's see if we can pull it out. So, what do you do in this situation?
Well, first, man, I have to have my dramatic moment while I'm in pain, right? I mean,
you should.
When you're on the stage, you learn this is your time.
It's probably not full page, but it is predominates a panel, I think, of our story.
I'll stay with the scrutiny and essay and try to eliminate that.
Give me the roll, and then we can assign its content in the section. Of course.
So I rolled the 4. So now we're using the 3d6 to resolve the action.
Yes, we are uncanny. But taking the modified, we have another villain. So a villain as well as the cultist has transformed. I'm going to cross the cultist out and make him a villain, just simply because we want to keep the game within an hour. Now, the bona fide villain is going to be -1 to dice rolls now. It's starting to get very complicated in this first investigation. Maybe Wall Street was not the place to go. It's full of cultists, as I remember. So I go back to Tony, and you got 5 modifier as a 6. Anyone can take advantage of that. But now we have a villain, a plot, a deed, and an insight. What do you do about that villain, Tony?
And you're rolling 3d6, by the way.
Yeah, I'm going to use Raw Fury and try to take down that bona fide villain.
Okay, give me the dice rolls and then describe it. Oh, easily.
How about that? I used the Crimson Fist to strike him down.
Now, it's the Crimson
Rumble.
And forgive me for interrupting. I'm just trying to picture this myself. Now, the Crimson Fist, is that something that also can project power over distance, or is it really a magical fist that you can hit people with?
No, it can project over distance, but most of the time I do like to do it close up and smack them.
It has sort of a Green Lantern feel as I'm picturing it. Is that correct?
Yes.
Terrific. Okay, so we got the Crimson Fist is a form of the Green Lantern in the way he can project and make things with the fist. Pretty cool. And I'm going to go back to, we're going to cross off the villain with that, I take it? You killed the bona fide villain?
Yes.
And 6 -1 with your destiny, easily killed, and that eliminates the die roll modifier. Back to you, Top Hat, man.
So again, I'm rolling 3 dice, and we'll stay where we were.
Sure.
Smoking Fist. I rolled the 6 as well. 6 -1 +1 because of
you can easily eliminate the critical insight from that, and you realize that Wall Street is not going to help you, but somebody emerges from the shadow.
Could I instead eliminate the bona fide villain, or did he already do that?
The bona fide villain was killed because I turned the cultist into the villain himself, and Tony took care of him with the Crimson Fist.
Okay, so the one that's given us the -1 is no longer there. Okay, fair.
That is correct. Yes.
Okay.
And we're going to go over to the fact that now I'm going to just press forward with the scene here on the quest. You go back to the quest page for a second. So out of the shadows steps this gentleman. Now, he seems to be a more powerful version of both of you. You immediately trust him. He has this trusting aura. Now, you don't know if he's exuding that as a superpower, but he just seems like he's the sort of guy, and he says, welcome. There are so few of us in the city. It's nice to have fellows, protectors. And he's been monitoring you from afar, and he knows that you've been taking care of this one borough, and he says he wants you to expand your options. He gives you the flashlight of truth, which will add +1 to any scene you use it in before the climax. And he tells you your main quest is either going to be in the inner city with the kids or on the waterfront. And then he disappears. So where is the next place we go, Conrad? Is it going to be the waterfront or the inner city?
Waterfront.
Okay, let's go to the waterfront. And when we get to the waterfront, we need a critical insight. Tony, would you like to try to make a critical insight, or would you like to pass over to Conrad?
What the heck? I'll try rolling 1d6. It could be interesting.
Okay.
A 2 + 1, a 3 conundrum. Add extra critical insight to end the scene and lose destined status. Oh, I'm no longer destined. All right.
Okay, so we have 2 critical insights that need to be made. I assume Top Hat Man will step in and comfort the Crimson Fist's confusion at the moment. I'll point out that these are boats in water. They're not to be killed. No, I'm teasing. Go ahead, Conrad, and make your action and tell me what the result is.
Top Hat and Tails it is. There's the 6.
Okay. That would take care of a critical insight. What do you note about the water or the ships? Just to give me a general idea of how you scrutinize the area.
The ships appear to be lit by the strange lights.
That is true. There seems to be a glow that's adhering in the water and everything else. I'm back to Tony. Tony, you certainly have a chance to redeem yourself. You certainly want to get destined status back. Did you want to roll raw fury and paint a scene for me? And you may be muted.
Dang it, sorry.
There's no reason to be sorry.
I obviously need to interrogate the criminal element that are around, so I will use my raw fury and find out what they know.
Yeah, try to get that destined status back. I think that does it for you. 5 becomes 6 because you're not destined.
No, that was last scene. Yeah. So
you can either pass with that roll or you can take a modifier of that roll. But if you take a modifier, those guys you're interrogating will add right into battle here as a D6 henchman. The longshoremen do not like you.
Yeah, what's new? I will actually pass on the roll.
I think that's probably not a bad idea. Conrad, we need a second critical insight in order to get past the scene.
Or to restore the destined status for the Crimson Fist, right?
That is correct. You can also use your option to do that.
Okay, well, that wasn't it. So that we're adding another critical insight to end the scene, or I'll lose my destined status.
Yes.
I think I'll keep my destined status.
I believe
we have a two critical insights. This whole scene is confusing you both. I'm going to progress the scene 1 forward, whether you like it or not, because I got you both without destined status, and that makes it harder overall for you to make these rolls. So as you approach nightfall, as you were, unfortunately, both of you were a bit confused, we have both a critical deed and defeat a bona fide villain with a D6 henchman. Give me a D6 roll, Conrad, please.
3.
3 henchmen, a deed, and a villain. Now, why the villain is there, we have a -1 to rolls. And I go back to the Crimson Fist. You realize that this portal has been opened up, and a magical figure moves through. His features are changing. He could be an invader from space. He talks to someone who greets him. So the villain has moved through, and 3 henchmen greet him. So what are you going to do, Tony, to critical deed to close the portal, and 3 henchmen and a villain to fight?
I think I need to knock him back through the portal so he can't invade our good old US of A.
Sounds like a terrific idea.
Use my raw fury and try to defeat a bona fide villain. Just like that.
Boom. He flies back through the portal, but the portal's still open. He might end up coming back through if we don't stop the portal. And I'm over to Conrad. What does the Top Hat do?
So we are still looking for
3 henchmen and a
deed. So I'm going to. The deed is a little more challenging for me.
You also need to restore destined status times 2.
So let me roll 2 dice on scrutiny and assay and see if I can defeat a henchman or restore a status.
Sounds good.
So let me go with the 2 dice. Sim zing. That's a 5. Which is gain critical insight or destined. However, switch to a sidekick roll.
So you have pondered the situation.
But there already. Come on.
But now you are a sidekick, which means you're rolling a single D6 on all of the rolls.
I will get the destined status back rather than solve the critical insight. But as the good partner, I will restore that for the Crimson Fist.
That is
myself,
perfectly fine. So the Crimson Fist has been
Thank
inspired
you.
by the actions of the Top Hat. The Top Hat probably was being roughed up by the henchmen, and he made a plea to the Fist to save him. Okay, Tony, go ahead.
Could have been.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's try to take out those henchmen then. We can't have them beating up my sidekick. 5 + 1. Let's take out a.
Or you could give
henchman.
destined status back.
Oh yeah. Let's make Top Hat destined.
So I think you probably bashed these henchmen around and freed themselves. And what else happened that inspired the Top Hat to be back into superhero mode?
He realizes
Superhero sidekick mode, by the way.
Yeah, he realizes that this isn't the game, and now it's time to get serious.
Now, the sidekick mode, because it's only
not a
rolling
show.
1d6 on each table, it does have some advantages in rolling to try to get a critical deed, for instance, if you were a blaster. But go ahead now, back to you, Conrad. What does the Top Hat do? There are 3 guys left, and we need a deed. You're rolling
I'm rolling with a single die, but I would normally be rolling 2 dice and taking, as a mentalist, I would be rolling a single die on the do something anything table. So I'm going to go ahead and roll there.
Okay, 1 die and do something anything, and then we'll justify the roll in a second. Here comes the 1 die.
Single die. 4 + 1 is a 5.
Setting up his move. +1, it's a 5. You have gotten the critical
renewal.
deed. And yeah, exactly. So it gives you a renewal, or it gives you the critical deed that we need to restore. So you have shut the portal, but the shutting the portal sort of seemed like it was a secondary role to fighting the 3 guys. I guess the kids reading the comic book thought that the villains should have been defeated first before the portal was closed. Little do they know, only when they turned 40 will they realize that this was the better move. I got 3 villains left. I should say I got 3 henchmen left. Back to you with Raw Fury, Crimson
That
Fist.
renewal would only be if somebody was injured, correct?
That is correct.
Yeah, so.
Okay, I will take out one of those henchmen.
Okay, we're down to 2. And back to you, sir.
Still rolling a single die.
You
Still
are.
on do something. There's the 6.
And 6 is easily going to take down 1. There's 1 left.
Henchman, yep.
Who's going to officially close the scene?
Okay. 5 + 1, that would be me.
Okay, down they go. So we have beaten the men at the portal. When you beat the men at the portal, you realize that they were actually carrying something that would point to the fact that, in fact, you hear a strange. You hear, I should say, on the back of a card is a password that has been written. It's sort of a standard business card. No, it is no. We're not going to go to that guy. It's just a standard business card, and on the back of it says, "Poor little black sheep gone astray, ba ba ba. Gentleman Rakers out on a spree, damn from here to eternity." And the business card is for a warehouse that's in the area. So let me go to my quest, and let's change that. And it's a critical problem that you guys have to overcome in the warehouse. Mostly probably to stay observant without being seen. And that's going to take an insight, and it's going to take a deed. And I'm over to, the last one to roll was Tony, so I'm over to Conrad. Conrad, we have a critical problem ahead of us. Deed or insight? What are you going to do, sir?
So the scene has changed, so I am now no longer a sidekick?
That is correct. You're back into full fury mode.
Okay, so I...
You keep on believing that.
We all have dreams and goals.
So the Crimson Rabbit is going to help me solve this problem. I'm going to roll for trying to get the critical insight.
Go ahead.
Which, of course, means the scrutiny and essay. So that's a 3, becomes a 4. I'll use 3 dice 6 to resolve the action, but we add a bona fide villain.
Okay, so your action will give us the uncanny nature. So everyone's going to roll 3 dice, but your actions do attract a villain, and a villain is -1 on the dice. Back to you, Crimson Fist, rolling 3 dice, taking the better, of course, if you punch, and but you're -1 on your dice.
Okay, well, I guess -1 because of the villain. Okay,
You're minus one for the villain, and did we also? In fact, wait a second, Conrad. You did not get your destined status back. Let's keep honest here. I sent you to this scene.
I had the destined status. That was the
I
previous
got it back for him.
That was the previous. That's right. The previous.
Yeah,
I'm thinking of the past. I need to flip my pages and move to the present, where the story is. Go ahead, Tony, and attack with raw fury +1 -1.
Well, we don't need that villain around, so let's see what I can do about him. I can defeat henchmen or gain modifier to treat to roll 5 or 6. Why don't we do that? I will take
You'll take the modifier?
Yeah, I'll take the modifier, and he's the villain has summoned one of his henchmen.
Okay, very good. Great rolls for the henchman. And so a guy driving a forklift is going to come over as well and try to ram that into you. Conrad, how do you avoid the forklift, and how do we get the insight and the deed, which will end this scene anyway?
Well, some would say that top hats and tuxedos are sort of restrictive, but I find them, you can be very acrobatic in them.
Sure, so, I think so.
Yeah, I think
it also shows a slender frame, which is very nice on comic book.
So I'm going to roll the 3 dice on scrutiny and assay, and I rolled the 6, which would be defeat the bona fide villain.
Yes, you defeated the bona fide villain. You can cross him out. +1 for your destined, down 1 for the villain. He's off. We still have a henchman, and we still have an insight and deed. Back to you, Crimson Fist.
Okay, well, let's take out that other henchman then. And that'll be a 7, so we will take him out.
Now we do need insight and deed as well, but you're rolling on and the henchman goes down. Absolutely. How did you kill the henchman? You didn't overpower this guy, right? He's just a working.
Oh, no. It was just a simple backhanded slap that really just knocked him down.
Just knock him into the boxes that collapse.
Yes.
I like it. Go ahead over to you, Conrad. We still need insight and deed in order to get past this scene.
And I'm rolling 3 dice, so I'll use my magical powers, of course, to assay and scrutinize things. So rolling 3 dice, rolling the 6, that would eliminate the critical insight.
Okay, there's an insight that you start to realize that this obviously the person who's writing Kipling on the back of business cards is totally insane, and you realize that if you actually read that passage aloud in the warehouse, it seems to point to a certain package that you need to collect. Magic is at work. So let's go on to the critical deed to open the box that contains the item that you're after. Tony, critical deed for you. 3 dice.
I'm going to let the top hat, what's it called?
Go ahead and
show off. And go ahead. Open up that box for us.
All right, top hat. Go and open the box. You're rolling 3 dice on do something, anything.
Or I can also do it by, oh no, you're right. I'm sorry. That's a raw fury is not going to solve that problem.
Plenty of chances that you'll get it.
Yeah. Okay. So critical deed it is. Rolling 3 dice on do something, anything. Sorry, I lost my dice here for just a second. Oh, there it is. 3
wow.
No, that's a good roll.
Because that becomes the 2, right?
That's a good roll.
And the 2 is a secret revealed, right? Now, so select anything from scrutiny and assay, which would be, we're already rolling 3 dice, right?
Yes, you're already rolling 3 dice, but you could pick something from scrutiny and assay. And in this case, I would probably, just as a referee, and again, because we're trying to play within a set amount of time, I would allow you to waive the henchman this would attract. Would you like a modifier of a 5 becomes a 6 or a 4 becomes a 6? I think the 4 is more useful.
We actually already have the 5 and the 6.
Oh, we do? Okay.
Yes, so 4 is the 6 would be good.
Yeah, 4 is the 6 it is.
Okay, 4 is the 6. Do something. I'm back to the Crimson Fist. You're sort of face palming with your Crimson Fist now on your sidekick. Although he's not a sidekick any longer, and maybe he'll take some offense from that. But I go to you, Tony. Did you want to roll something on do something, anything? You are treating 4s as 6s and 5s as 6s on your dice roll.
Oh, why not? Since the top hat can't quite get it done,
blow that box open.
Let the Crimson Fist step in and make that a 3 and a 4. 4 becomes a 6. I'm going to say that is our critical deed.
Critical deed, obviously. So you have completed
the
critical
deed. You saw the 5
deed
there as well, right? The 5 plus 1 is 6.
Yeah, but I have to take the lower.
The lower. Yes, he's a blaster. He doesn't really do critical deeds. He has no fine tuning on that hand of his. When he touches things, they tend to explode. So And oh my gosh, we have found something, and it looks dangerous. It shouldn't be. There's a plan for ray guns. They're too complex for you to build without a well-stocked bat cave or lair. Remember as well that you have the mystic flashlight that you can use for +1 in any scene. It cannot be used in the climax. Yet evil does intend to arm the critical games with this ray gun. And you realize when you see this, you hear a noise behind you, and out steps a man, and out steps a gun mall, and out steps money. And Picard tells you that he can use men of your special abilities. In fact, he takes credit for making you what you are. Join me and be kings among the kings. Join me and live an easier life. And then he starts quoting Kipling. I shot him in the morning prayer to ease his pain, and when he heard the triggers click, he blessed my name again. So you need to make a critical insight to resist this temptation, and I will start with last roll made was by Fisk, so it's you, Top Hat. Can you avoid, with a critical insight, this temptation?
And we have switched scenes, so I'm rolling 2 dice now.
That is correct.
And I have my destined status, so I will roll the 2 dice. I rolled the 5.
A 5. I don't think a 5 quite does it.
Will.
It gains critical insight or destined, however, also switch to sidekick roll.
It's okay. I know you.
I won't take the bribes, but I'll have to let Crimson Fist decide.
And I have
gain that critical insight or destined.
It's just one critical insight here that you need to, Conrad, you might as well grab it up.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so you have the critical insight, and however, you would switch to the sidekick statics for a moment. And for a moment, the game is saying that, well, that was a lot of money to be tempted. Now, here is an alternate scene, and I think as great men, you probably are going to enter and try to stop the fire. As the bad guy disappears, it was all an illusion. The warehouse you're in is on fire. So now you can put out the fire by solving a critical problem, and you will gain civility. Now, gaining civility is like a free mulligan. It'll allow you to cancel any dice roll and remake that dice roll. Perhaps it's not as powerful as the magic flashlight, but it will be part of the game mechanics that would help you win this. Now, do you want to put out the fire, or do you want to go after the bad guy? Totally up to you.
I think we should go after the bad guy, or go after the fire. Put out the fire.
I think you should probably put out the fire with a critical problem. Now, we know from past events that you're going to need insight to figure out how to put the fire, and then a deed to implement your insight. So I go to Conrad first. Conrad, give me an insight to figure out how to put the fire out.
And since we've changed scenes, I'm no longer a sidekick.
That is correct. It was a momentary.
So 2 dice. So 6 plus 1 is the 7, which is the insight.
You easily got that insight. So how would the fire be put out for us?
Well, considering that the Crimson Lunkhead doesn't have any magic, I can't assume that it's magic to turn the fire out. So I would just say, hey, take those bags of flour and throw it on the fire to extinguish it.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to extinguish the fire with the dough from the side factory, and we'll have bread to feed all the kids as well. Give me a roll of deed now, Tony, to try to put the fire out.
Okay, that's going to be difficult, but we'll see how it goes.
Well, you can always pass and say, well, it's your plan, Top Hat.
What the heck? Let's roll. What's the worst that could happen?
Well, you could be humiliated.
A 1, it'll be add +1, secret revealed.
The secret revealed.
Say a raw fury result.
So again, I will give you the option of either taking that as uncanny without the bona fide villains, so everyone's going to get 3d6 to their roll, or you can pick either the result under raw fury of a 4 or 5 and gain that modifier of changing 5 to 6 or 4 to 6.
I'll take the uncanny and give him 3 dice. And now
3 dice.
Why don't you show me how it goes?
Or you probably gathered up all the flour and you're holding it up, and he has to point out where it needs to come down. Don't slight yourself yet. You have yet to become a sidekick in this adventure. Where I believe it's, let me get the count here. I think it's 3 times, Top Hat. I'm not really counting well, so I'd have to go back.
A true hero does what is needed to be done to solve the problem.
Humility, of course. And you easily have made the critical deed. So you have you've imagined the plan and you implemented the plan.
Put it here on the fire. Throw it on the fire. Throw it on. Hey, Red Man, throw it on the fire.
He might be, and you've gained civility now. You guys are gonna have to help me remember that you have that, and that can even be used in the final as well. And so we're gonna go on to the fact that you pursue the bad guys. You put out the fire rather quickly, and we need to kill a bona fide minion. Forgive me, a bona fide villain and D6 henchman. Conrad, give me a D6 roll, please.
Single D6. Oh, for the number of henchmen, a 6,
Correct.
Of course.
And there we go. I should make Conrad roll all along. And let's go straight into the raw fury type of combat. And I will also have the modifier and flair this for us again for time saving, where if you get the bona fide villain a second time, it will clear all the villains that are left, all the minions that are left, henchmen that are left. So 2 villains or 6 henchmen and a villain, and off to raw fury for you, Tony.
Okay. I'm going to suggest that we use. This feels like it's a good time to use the flashlight of truth. So against a true villain and a what's it called? And a
6 henchmen.
6 henchmen, yeah. So let's use the flashlight of truth. Give us +1 and additional +1 to the scene.
Yes. So you're rolling +1 for Destin, +1 for the scene. You're going to be +2 to your dice roll, down 1 for the villain. And here comes the 2 and a 4. It still counts as a 5.
Yep, now, eradicate. Defeat a henchman or gain modifier to treat any roll as a 5 as a 6, I think.
That is a pretty valuable thing to take the modifier, but I'm going to double the number of henchmen and make it so that you're going to need to beat, in essence, 3 bona fide villains.
Okay.
Which is worth it to you.
Yep, we're going to take the treat 5 as a 6.
Okay, treat 5 and 6. So we have a covey of 6 henchmen and a covey of 6 henchmen, and the actual bona fide villain, which is causing you a -1 modifier. But we have the flashlight of truth telling you exactly amongst this big mob of enemies who is the guy we need to beat. Conrad, over to you.
2 dice doing the essay.
Absolutely.
6 defeats the bona fide.
A 6 adding 1 is a 7. So the bona fide villain goes down. Now we got two groups of villains, 2 groups of henchmen that you can beat either piecemeal or by getting bona fide villain hits. I go back to Tony. What do you do with the first 6 set of guys who are armed with those ray guns too?
Oh, I don't fear the ray guns. I dive in.
Don't fear the ray guns.
Swinging. Don't fear the ray guns. Pretty sure that's how that song goes.
Yes.
And I will defeat a bona fide villain.
So that's 6 of the guys with ray guns, and of course you're crushing the ray guns as you grab them. You don't need those things being picked up by kids.
We would never use a ray gun.
Carried away by dogs. Well, you can always keep one to study. That mentor guy who never gave you his name, if it can maybe study one or wants to have one. But 6 more minions left, 6 more henchmen left. Conrad, what would you like to do, sir?
Scrutiny and essay.
Some sort of mental power you have, right?
to open a hole in the floor.
Okay, go ahead.
2 dice, adding 2, I guess, at this point, right?
Sure.
There it is.
There you go.
And those other 6 henchmen get trapped into the city sewer system. No need to kill anyone here.
We don't have to draw that out. It's just let the audience figure out what happened there.
And of course, the main enemy is totally incensed. The evil genius appears to you in a phantom, in a projection, and he says to you, "Deny the great man's burden, your savage wars of peace. I fill full the mouth of famine. I bid the sickness cease. And when my goal is nearest, for all of others sought, I watch sloth and heathen folly. The 2 of you bring all my hopes to naught." So now we're over to next scene. You need to open a vault door in order to get to him. Critical deed. Who's going to open the vault door?
Critical deed is to do something, anything. I will allow Conrad to go because
I think that's a me, right? So I'm rolling a single die and adding 1, correct?
Correct.
So pause for dramatic effect, right? Do the hand thing.
Use what's your power word? I know you've been saying sim zim zing a number of times. Oh, it's alakaboom.
I used my alakaboom power. So the secret has been revealed. Select any scrutiny and essay or raw fury result. Well, obviously we can either take the 3 dice, or we only have to accomplish the one thing.
The one deed to get past the vault door. That is correct.
So let's take the triple dice, right, on the...
But the triple dice doesn't really help the fist. So it would come back to you if he gives it a pass.
It'll come right back to me, and then I'll roll 3 dice, right?
But, I mean, that seems counterintuitive. You could pick something like the 5 becomes a 6, or better yet, the 4 becomes a 6, and Tony can roll 3 dice, and if he gets a 4, 5, or 6 as his lower die, he did the deed.
I walked out past the placard that's outside the theater, and it says Top Hat, the star, not Crimson. Crimson will get the
All right,
star.
he's going to take the triple dice roll. Tony, you can pass.
Of course
or
I'm
you can
taking the
risk
triple
it.
dice.
Triple dice it is. Okay, well then let me step in and try to get that.
Oh, now if you pass, Conrad can come back and get this door, and it is we haven't gotten to the main battle yet. Do you really want to risk this? That you could be humiliated, or that you could add an extra critical deed in the scene? By do something, anything.
Or be injured. He can't be injured because he's got.
I don't want to talk
one,
about
right?
it. Nobody can be injured here. That's correct.
I can do this. A 3 becomes a 4. Becomes deny. Oh wait. Oh, you didn't pick the treat. 4 is a 6. Oh, of course
did not. He gave you the triple dice roll to make your life even harder.
Yeah.
All right. So
on heinous plot to the end.
This is not a punch, Joy.
You could lose your destined status. I would probably say don't do that. We have a heinous plot. The door is somehow trapped. The vault door is trapped at this moment. I'll describe the trap as a mix of electricity and an oozing function where you feel your life is being sucked away by it.
I just wanted it to be a water trap because, that's what
it has some water element, but not enough because it's hard to get fluid into a comic book panel. Would you do anything for us, Conrad? Because we still need a deed. Yes, we need a deed, and we need a heinous plot defeated.
Or I could do screw. Yes, let's do the 3 dice on the smoking fist. The 5 becomes a 6.
The 5 becomes a 6, so you've defeated the critical deed. But this actually works out well because then the last panel of this scene is going to show the red fist destroying the door, the heinous plot. Go ahead.
Or not.
Raw fury for us.
Absolutely.
And how describe how the vault door shatters for us at the home audience here?
As I swing and punch, with the glowing red fist, the whole vault just absolutely shatters into small little pieces.
Perfect.
When you have a big finale, you have a big finale. You know what I'm saying?
But it looks like we got a little bit of a get smart going on here. And behind the vault door, unfortunately, is machine guns implanted in the wall. So it's a critical deed to open the door, but it's another D6 machine guns as henchmen that have to be eliminated. Tony, roll me a D6 for henchmen, please.
Okay. How about 6 this time?
And once again, I will say that if you defeat a bona fide villain, you may eliminate all 6 of those henchmen in one blow. Critical deed, though, I go to the top hat guy, who's our next to take an action. Which do you want to try to do there?
So I'm going to try to get the machine guns to shoot at each other, of course, because that's what magicians do, right? So rolling 2 dice, looking for the 6, which was +1 because of my destined status. Mm-hmm. And that would get the defeat a bona fide villain.
That will, and the henchmen are now out of the way. We still need a critical deed, and he's once again, unfortunately, Fist, as he set up the story plot to sort of put you in a rougher situation. But did you want to pass and let the top hat do both actions in this scene, or did you want to risk or do something?
No chance.
You can also, before you roll on Do Something Anything, you can roll on Raw Fury, and you can get those modifiers for him by fighting the different minions that obviously the evil genius would be sending at you as well, correct?
Yeah, I mean, sure, but no, I'll just try to do something anything. I'll roll
Go ahead.
1, add 1, being the secret revealed. So
yes.
I will take the, let's treat the 4s as 6s.
4s as 6s. So now, Conrad, back to you, and he's giving you a modifier. I think he's holding half of the door open, and you just need to disable the automatic closing eye. Give me a roll.
So I'm rolling a single die and adding 1 to it, and treating 4s as 6s, correct?
That is correct. Well, let's see. No, it says, in fact, did I read that miscorrect? Others roll single D6. Yes. Okay. So a 2 plus 1 is a 3. You become enraged by the whole situation. So we have 2 critical deeds to close that door. Tony, we're treating 4s as 6s. Would you like to try to roll your 2 dice and take the lower?
I will take the lower, which becomes a 2, which is secret revealed.
And you can treat 5s as 6s if you wishes.
I think Conrad needs the uncanny 3 dice because he's not going to
always thinking of the party. Your mentor far away in Wall Street is watching, and he smiles, and you feel that warmth and that love coming from him. Give me 3 dice, Conrad. You got 2 critical deeds, and I'm going to have you roll twice to get rid of them.
Okay, and I'm treating 4s and 6s, and I'm adding 1. Oh, that's right. Not it.
Heck, oh my gosh! Oh boy, he's enraged. He says, I can't do this with you and watching.
This is the climax. I have to make it tough, and it's on fire.
You need 3 critical deeds. Give me 3 dice rolls in a row to see if you can just go 1, 2, 3. Bippity boppity boom.
There's the 6.
There's a 6. That's 1. You need 2 more.
There's the 6. That's 2.
There's the 6. You need 1 more.
And the crowd does not believe that it's possible. And there's the 6.
I think it was
I'm here all week, ladies and gentlemen.
Encouragement. In fact, I'm going to draw those scenes with the Crimson Fist was encouraging you, and you're sort of in the background fighting with the octopus arms coming out the door. And where do we get to? Are we there yet? We got to be there yet. Yes, we're there. We have a bona fide villain. We have a D6 henchman, and we have a critical problem to overcome. But you have the civility that you can apply to change 1 roll if you need it. So, villain. -1.
Are we in the climax at this point, or we are not in the climax?
We seem like we're in the climax.
Okay.
It looks like a climax. I got Picard with his blaster gun here. Thank you, Toby Mikle, for these drawings that he did.
So there's probably a final scene as well that we might want to save that civility for. Just an FYI.
Okay.
And if you don't want to use the civility, the civility, use it if you guys get an injury that could kill one of you. And so a D6 villains, D6 henchmen. Back to you, Crimson Fix. How many henchmen do we have to kill?
How about 4?
4. Okay. Now, villain, -1 to your dice roll. Critical problem. I need insight in order to stop the death ray that he's assembling, and I also need a deed. So, what are you going to try to roll on here, Conrad? The villain is the
insight and villain, of course, right? Obviously, we're going to attempt that
Let's
first.
Immobilize him. Let's knock him out.
Off comes the hat, flung through the air to do what it needs to do. Roll the 4.
Odd job, 007 element.
I'm sorry, rolled the 3 because we're not adding 1, right? At this point.
Yeah, I think it counts as a rough 3.
Yeah, it's a 3.
It's a conundrum.
Add a critical insight to end the scene and lose my destined status.
Okay, so we have 2 critical insights. Obviously, there's something secret involved here. Either somebody else wants this guy defeated. It could be the mentor we're dealing with, but that would be very cliche. Or it's just the fact that you're fighting an illusion. Remember, this guy was able to conjure illusions. I got 2 insights. I got 1 deed. I got 4 henchmen. I got a villain. Back to you, Crimson Fist.
Okay, well, I think we need to defeat that villain.
Go ahead.
4. I admonish, defeat a henchman or gain modifier at any roll of a 4 is a 6, taking the modifier as a D6 henchman. Let's take that 4 as a 6. I think that's
okay. Here comes another
henchman.
4 henchmen that add in. That was probably what he was hiding, the fact that he had more guys with ray guns coming in. Back to you, Top Hat.
We are not. I'm sorry. We only have 1 critical deed to achieve, or 2.
That is correct. 1 critical deed, 2
okay.
Insights. And 2 sets of henchmen, a villain, and that would solve our critical problem as well.
So I'm going to pause and talk to the audience for just a bit to repeat the problem. So it becomes a 5.
He's turned it into a sage play.
Yes, of course. But I gain the critical insight or the destined status, but I also switch to the sidekick role, which apparently I'm going to let the Crimson Dolt here solve this problem for us for a while. I will get my destined status back because I think that's more useful than the.
You had lost it before, definitely, yes. Get your destined status back. And you'll be rolling 1 die on any table as a sidekick. I'm off to you, Crimson Fist. There's a whole fistful of problems here, so go ahead and give us a raw fury, and then you can...
A good magician always uses his assistant to distract the audience.
It's true, and it works out well that way. Yes. A 3 to 1. A 3 to 1. You're adding 1, I believe, for your destined status, but we're subtracting 1 for the villain. That's going to put us at a quake, unfortununely. Yes, so did you lose your ability to obliterate, your ability to eradicate, or your ability to admonish?
How is that affected? I don't see.
So what happens is, do you want to lose the ability for 6s to count, for 5s to count, or 4s to count?
Oh, okay. So let's lose the 4s since we're treating 4s as 6s.
Are we treating 4s as 6s?
Yeah,
I don't see that. I don't see that. I don't
yes,
have that.
you rolled that once. That's how we got the 4. Yeah, absolutely. 4s as 6s. Yeah. That's a perfect combination of results then. But you do lose your destined status. I'm back to you, Top Hat, as a henchman, rolling, excuse me, as a sidekick, rolling 1 die. Did you want to roll Heidi. A 1 die?
Appreciate that, Heidi. So I'm rolling on the scrutiny, and now let's see. Let's go back to do something, anything, I guess, right?
What we really need is we probably need the destined status back for the Crimson Fist.
Or to get rid of the bona fide villain.
Yeah,
that is correct.
So let me roll this with a single die on the scrutiny and essay, then rolling +1 -1, so straight up 6 it is.
You got rid of the main villain, knocked him out.
Either got Tony got the Crimson Death, the destined status back.
It is true, but the -1 is equivalent to that, and the -1.
Let's do the bona fide villain first because that gives me the +1 as well. So.
Okay, and so we're going to go over to back to the Crimson Fist. You're treating 4s as 6s. Which table would you like to roll on, and what do you do?
Oh, I lost the 4 to 6s. That was the lose 1, the admonish, right?
Well, we lost the admonish on that table, but we are still treating 4s as 6s. It sounded like a perfect proposition.
Happens.
Yes, if you rolled a 4, we would treat it as a 6, so you cannot, in essence, gain, even though you've lost your ability to admonish, we're sort of past the point of admonishing people, wouldn't you agree?
Okay.
These guys are creating death rays and threatening our city.
So you rolled a 3 again, because there's no +1, right?
That is correct. No +1, so it's a 3, so I guess I'm losing 5s now.
Yeah, you've lost 3s and 5s. You lost your ability to eradicate. Boy, you realize that the ray guns are shooting are to take away powers from blasters. That's terrible.
Can we restore that from him? Is that an option? Is that one of the, or is only health is what you get?
It is not an option in this game, and some of the other games you can get a critical deed and restore. He's just
his uniform is torn, is what we're saying.
He's being drained.
His lip is bloodied. Yeah, it's bad. Okay,
it's ugly. We are treating his 4 as a 6, so he only really.
This is
going
to be like a Sunday show and really get a lot of viewers.
And he can always roll on scrutiny if he needs to. But go ahead and give us your action there.
I'm rolling a 6 die on scrutiny and essay, but I'm only rolling a single die. I'm adding 1, trying to get rid of the critical insight. That's a 2. That's bad. Add a heinous plot or lose destined status.
Personally, I take the plot.
Yeah. Okay. I'll gain the heinous plot.
There's some greater plot going on as they drain the Crimson Fist. Back to you, Crimson Fist. I've got to recap for the audience here. We have 2 insights. We have a deed. We have a heinous plot to eliminate. We have 2 sets of henchmen that can either be eliminated by killing 8 individuals or 2 sets of bona fide villains. And we're treating 4s as 6s. And back to you, Tony.
Okay, well then I will, oh man, this is ugly. Okay, I will.
Hey, it reminds me of certain sub scene where we had to rush the stairwell and suddenly found out. Oh, okay. Flashing back. Go ahead.
Oh God. Okay, that's terrible. Oh my God. Yeah, another 3.
I think you've lost your ability to obliterate. You are no longer in raw fury, sir.
Okay, yeah, this is no good at all.
You could get a lucky 4 that we treat as a 6, but unfortunately for you, it would have to be a lucky 6 on another table.
The good news is I have an extra top hat with me, Tony, that I can.
You guys can do that at the end here. You know, I believe I saw that in a Mel Brooks movie. Back to you.
Now, let me throw out an option here as the thinking member of the party. We could use the scrutiny here to re-roll that 2s and 3s. This might be the time to do that.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, no, I agree. I think civility. Yeah.
Okay, we're going to use up the civility. Very, very well done and thought out, Top Hat. And
let's get the roll. Come on.
Yes, and now we need 2 dice.
I only rolled 3.
That is afraid what we call a rusty action here. It's going to make it in the highlight films,
Thanks,
guy.
Heidi.
Let me make
Appreciate that, Heidi. Got that for you.
I need to click out it. At 48:56, I'm going to need to get some highlight. Go ahead, Tony. What would you like to do? You lost your obliterate, I take it.
Yes, indeed. Well,
and we go back over to Top Hat. Top Hat. Now you've got there's a lot going on. Go ahead and give me a roll somewhere, and we'll apply it to the situation.
Single die. Rolling the +1 to the die roll.
On which
6. I'm sorry, scrutiny and assay. So 5 becomes a 6.
Destined status back for our guy would be good.
Yeah, I'll just say Heidi. Dust it off, Heidi. You'll be okay.
And we're going to go back to, Heidi is a little bit obscure. I would say Pippi. Pippi is known for her long hair, red hair. But go ahead.
No, Heidi's my assistant.
Man. We're over to Crimson Fist. This is a time for the Fury to come out, sir.
Can't, though,
actually, you should probably shift over to another table.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think I'm going to have to do scrutiny and assay.
Scrutiny and assay. Go ahead and roll me a single die on that, please.
A 5 + 1 is a 6 -1 because we have a villain.
No, we killed the villain.
There is no bona fide villain. He is gone. You can eliminate one of the 2 insights or eliminate a block of 4 henchmen with that.
Let's get rid of the henchmen.
Okay, so now we have 4 henchmen. We have 2 insights and a deed. Plus, we're treating 4s and 6s. That's going to make it tough to get an uncanny. Over to you, my friend, Top Hat.
Oh boy, we're in a tough spot. So I'm still the sidekicks, but I'm rolling +1.
Correct.
Let's go ahead and do that. There's the 3 becomes the 4. There we go. That's perfect.
We're treating 4s as 6s. I assume you're back on scrutiny. Would you like to defeat a bona fide villain and take out another 4 henchmen? Or would you like to reduce the number of critical insights that we have?
No, I can't take that as an uncanny, right? So that gives us 3 dice.
You cannot take that as uncanny because we have
the
got
3,
the
4,
admonish.
6s.
We're moving. Yeah, 4s are blanked off of our map.
Okay, so let us get rid of. Let's get rid of one of the critical insights.
Okay, so we have a critical insight, a critical deed, and 4 henchmen to defeat. Go ahead, Tony, and pick a table, and let's roll on it, and we'll justify it in a moment.
Okay, I think I'm going to stick with the scrutiny and assay. 5 + 1 is a 6.
That hat looks great on you, Tony.
5 looks like a 6. And now you were doing that on scrutiny and assay. You can eliminate 4 henchmen by killing a bona fide villain, or you can eliminate the second insight that the team needs.
I will eliminate the second insight.
We also have a plot roll that eventually is going to have to be made by somebody. I'm seeing in my notes. Wow, I got a whole scribble here. Over to you, Conrad.
I'm gonna roll on scrutiny assay again to see if we can drop that sidekick.
Okay.
I'm sorry, not sidekick. Drop the
henchman.
Sure. the henchman. Yeah. So let's do that. That 4 becomes a 5.
4 becomes a 5. Now that would restore destined status, and that would also gain critical insight. But unfortunately, it doesn't do anything else in the scene. You're already a sidekick.
Tony has destined status, so we're good. He's good there.
Yeah, everyone's good.
Okay.
I'm back over to you, Tony. We need a critical plot, a heinous plot. The only way to defeat that would be an obliterate roll of a 6, which unfortunately you cannot make at the moment.
You could do something, anything, and get the pick, perhaps.
That is true. He could do something, anything, and perhaps get the secret revealed.
Well,
which we need a deed anyway.
Right. Well, I will. But then I roll 2 and take the lower. So
I would probably not do that at this point, but you are treating 4s as 6s.
I could roll a 1 though, which wouldn't be that bad. Oh, what the heck? Let's do something. Anything. A 2 becomes a 3.
2 adds 1 is a 3. It's going to be an extra critical deed in seed, in which you're losing your cool. You're not being the role model to the kids in the Comics Code could step in if you truly lose your stuff, lose your shit, as they would say. Plot and 2 deeds plus the henchman. Over to you, Top Hat.
It looks like I'm gonna have to do some close-up magic there. Bring the camera in close on the hands there. I'm gonna do a little card trick.
Yeah.
It's a do something anything. Rolling a single die. We rolled the 6. That gets rid of the.
Now 6 is a lot of different
deed.
things you can do there.
No, let's just see. That gets rid of the critical deed, right? That's what we want.
It does. We are down to 1 critical deed, 1 heinous plot. You're going to need to roll up there sometime on Raw Fury as well, Conrad.
Well, or I was looking for the 2 is really what I was looking for there, because the 2 would give me a little choice, right? So staying on this table gives us some options there.
But the fact the obliterate, eradicate, and admonish were lost by the Crimson Fist, not by you, is what I'm getting at.
Right, but if I roll the 1 on the do something anything table on my single die, it becomes a 2, and then I can select any result on the Raw Fury table. So there's lots of good stuff on that do something anything table, and really the audience likes the close up hand magic. The cards and the coins. They really
don't we all love close up hand magic?
Who doesn't, right?
It is an amazing thing to see the dexterity of people, or is it just magic? I'm over to you now, Crimson Fury. You could roll on Scrutiny Assay by getting a bona fide villain defeated, or you could nickel and dime the henchman there.
I will try to Scrutiny Assay. 3 + 1 is a 4. If 4 is treated as 6s, so I will take out the other henchmen.
So we have a plot and a deed in order to end this campaign, end this scenario. Go ahead and give me either a roll to try to get a plot or a deed there, Top Hat.
And now the big card trick at the end on the do something anything, rolling a 6 die, single die adding 1. There's the 6.
Beautiful roll.
That would
take care of the last deed. Now all we got is a plot.
No, it does not, right? On the do something anything?
Yeah,
I'm sorry. It does. It takes the.
It is that exactly is what you want to do with the critical deed there. You also could get the renewal if anyone had suffered a humiliation,
so all we
a beat down,
have left is the heinous plot.
We still are treating 4s as 6s, but unfortunately, over to the Crimson Fist, you may not roll on Raw Fury to get that heinous plot. It's going to have to be completed by Top Hat. Maybe some inspiring rhetoric here, and with a pass,
or finding some secrets.
Yep, I will do something, anything.
Give me, in your case, 2 dice and take the lower.
2, 3. No, I'm enraged. Add a critical deed.
Okay, so we've and the prudent thing was to add another critical deed. So you keep releasing the villain from his manacles, saying, "I'm going to kill you in a fair fight." Back to you, Top Hat. You need to calm him down before
Settle down, Heidi.
We got a plot and a
single
deed
die on
the
the do something anything table.
Okay.
I rolled the 4, adding 1 is the 5. Eliminates the critical deed, but switches to the sidekick roll, which I
you're already there.
You're already in the sidekick roll. So we're not going to add a second penalty.
And now the crimson bolt.
And now the Crimson Fist will win this battle with a heinous plot will be eliminated. Or we're going to have to wait with the cliffhanger here. Tony, pass or roll on do something anything?
Oh, come on. Like I'm not going to roll. Okay.
4 is a 6.
Deny humanity. Add on it's 2 heinous plots now.
No, it's 4, Tony.
It's a 3. A 3 becomes a 4, and a 4 becomes a 6.
He's got destined status, though, so it's a 4.
Oh, well, you're right. 4 treats us as 6. There you go.
Am I the only one that does the magic in this game?
It does not eliminate the plot, though. All it does is solve a critical deed or give us renewal. I'd say you calmed yourself down for the cameras, but you got yourself a new uniform from your spare. But we're going to go back to Conrad. Conrad, I still need that plot roll. You sure you don't want to roll on Raw Fury? And you're treating 4s as 6s. So if I do my math here, if you rolled a 3, if you rolled a 5, or if you rolled a 6. 3, 5, or 6, and you would get that heinous plot.
Okay, we're going to go with this Raw Fury. In the end, the magician has to do everything. He's trained in everything. He's got to be able to do anything.
But you're a sidekick, so you're rolling 1.
I'm flashing back to my younger days.
Yes.
So 4 becomes a 5, becomes a defeat.
4 becomes a 5. That doesn't help us with the plot, but we could add some more. Yes, we can treat 5s as 6s.
Yeah, treat 5s as 6, and we add henchmen, right?
Yeah, give me a D6.
D6 henchmen. Let's make it 2.
2 henchmen. You can either defeat them nickel and dime 1-2, or we can defeat them by getting a bona fide villain. Back to you, Crimson Fist. You can actually do Scrutiny Assay now and defeat a bona fide villain and beat up on henchmen.
Okay, well, let's try that.
Go ahead.
A 2 + 1, 3. Oh, it's a conundrum. Add a critical insight to end the scene. Lose Oh, I've lost my destined status. Man. Rolling grace.
So we got the fact that you again, it's the control ray that the evil guy was using. He's making you open up the vault to release the robots, and so that needs to be stopped with a critical insight to realize that. We have 2 henchmen and we have a plot. Over to you, Top Hat. What would you like to do? And also,
we're treating 4s as 6s. We're treating 5s as 6s. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And let's So I'm going to roll on the raw fury just to get
Let's get rid of that plot.
Just to clear the plot problem here.
You know the trucks are going to bring the toy guns to the toy
4
stores.
4 + 1 becomes a 5. 5 becomes a 6. The plot has been removed.
You called away the trucks that were going to go with the evil guns off to the toy stores. I have 2 henchmen and I have a critical insight. Back to scrutiny essay for you, Crimson Fist, please.
Okay. A 5, treat that as a 6.
5 becomes a 6. There goes the critical insight. 2 henchmen left. Back to you, Top Hat.
So I'm sorry, the insight has been removed. So we're at the point now where we have just two mobs. Correct. So I'm rolling on
that is correct.
Just to close it out with the kind of magic that I do just normally for the audience. We have like that relationship. So 2 dice. Rolling 3 becomes a 4. 4 becomes a 6. 6 becomes a defeat bona fide villain.
And we have eliminated everyone in this game that is opposing you. And the final frame of the quest, you guys are taking the evil genius off to some sort of magic holding cell that your mentor tells you about. And he says to you, I will meet you later on from the place where I have gone, where it's always double drill and no canteen. See me squatting on the coals, giving drink to poor damn souls, and you'll get a swig in hell, my Gunga Deans. Yes, Dean, 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 he points at each of you. You Lazarussian leather Gunga Dean, though I've belted you and flayed you by the living God that made you, that was me. I'm a better man than you are, Gunga Dean. Sort of bastardizing Kipling there, and that is the end of our adventure.